Since reaching fluency in Spanish, do I now think in English, do I think in Spanish, or is it a combination of both? Nowadays, I tend to think in whichever language I have been using for the previous 5 minutes. So when I go from English to Spanish all of a sudden, I can hear my brain translating words from English to Spanish quite a lot, but then after about 5 minutes, it's pretty much entirely Spanish up there. The interesting thing, and trust me, the coolest experience ever, is that nowadays, after speaking Spanish for a couple of hours, it will take me also 5 minutes for my brain to get back to thinking in English. So in my experience, there were 6 different stages I went through in terms of what language I was thinking in. Stage 1 is I translated every single word from English to Spanish, and it was extremely slow. So it would be like, okay, how do I say that? Look it up. Yo. And then want, look it up, querer. But I want quiero. Stage 2 is I translated everything from English to Spanish, but with a little bit more speed. So if I wanted to say I want, it would be like yo want, querer, quiero, yo quiero. Stage 3 is that I had sections in my brain ready to go. So from the previous example, I would just know straight off the bat, I want to go is yo quiero ir. But then the next part of the sentence I would have to figure out. So I would quickly say, yo quiero ir. Damn, how do I say the beach? Playa, al playa. A la playa. Stage 4 was one of the most interesting. I started to translate things from English to Spanish automatically all the time, even when I wasn't trying to speak Spanish. So I'd just be walking around the house and think, tengo hambre, which means I am hungry. And then I would stop and realize that I just thought in Spanish automatically. It was a very interesting stage, and I also annoyed the shit out of everybody in my life because I would just speak Spanish to them even when I knew that they didn't speak Spanish. Stage 5 is when I pretty much realized that I didn't need to think in English at all. It would just be entirely in Spanish, but it would be quite slow at times because I'd have to remember a word or construct the way to say it in my brain. And then stage 6, this is the stage where I really started to notice that I would go an entire hour or 2 without thinking at all in English. Only really unique words or phrases that I had never learned. I might slow down just for a little bit, but it was quite rare. This was the incredible feeling that I was looking for when I first started to learn Spanish, and it was definitely worth it. Like I said earlier, the feeling of switching back to English and then taking 5 minutes to stop thinking in Spanish was the coolest feeling ever. An important thing to note is that each stage gets easier and easier to get to the next stage as you go. So if you're in the beginning stages, remember to have patience. And if you've been learning for a while, then I promise you're closer to fluency than you realize. If you do want help to reach fluency quicker, go to calculatedspanish.com and claim your 1000 free flashcards, and then watch the video that shows you exactly what's within our program.